Hello, Viral Universe. I am your host, Smart Mark Weiss, and welcome to After Extreme, Episode 2, where we will discuss the events of what occurred on this week's Extreme and the following pay-per-view. Now, before we get into my wins and fails for the evening, my sources managed to obtain this information from the desk of Miss Ashley Silver. Some of the top bosses at Viral Entertainment might be looking into ViralPro with an interest in either to control it or keep it from growing. You already know that various people in the viral music branch are unhappy about having their rock and rave venture swallowed by ViralPro. I don't know if it's them or someone else, but it has been suggested, I demanded, that we hold our Best in the World pay-per-view this November. Instead, we hold it in December. And instead of it being Best in the Net Rules Tournament for a shot at Nathan Michaels' Best in the Net title, it will now be a Best in the Net Rules Tournament for crowning our very first ViralPro World Champion. Unfortunately, the interference doesn't stop there. Our November pay-per-view, however many title matches it holds, whomever walks out the loser of those matches has to wear and wrestle in a turkey suit on the following Extreme. Okay. Now I'm just going to say this. This November pay-per-view hasn't even been given a name yet, so until management decides to come up with one, I'm giving it my own name. Hopefully it catches on. I'm calling it Brawl's Giving. And at Brawl's Giving, it's clearly just a filler show until next month's Best in the World pay-per-view. Now, I'm going to start going on a little rant here, so please be patient before we get into the wins and fails. I think it's time that we ditch the whole rock and rave wrestling thing. Nobody cares. I mean, really don't. The reason folks come to the show is to watch these wrestlers kick the crap out of each other. It's time to send it out to pasture. It's dead in the water. I think they have like 3 rock and rave wrestlers. I could be mistaken, but yeah. Nobody cares. Second, at Best in the World, they're going to have a Best in the Net Rules tournament to determine the ViralPro champion. Seriously, what the fuck is that? It just devalues the Best in the Net championship that competes under the same rules. Especially since the Best in the Net title is credible right now, with big names like Benson Dane and Christian Goodchild challenging for it, and Nathan Michaels, the current champion, having it for almost 2 months, defending it just about every week. Come on now, either change the rules or merge the belt. Alright, that's my rant. On to the wins and fails. The win for the evening has to be for Jinx for becoming the new Hellcats champion. After weeks of having some serious doubts on whether or not she was good enough to even be here, the masked woman, or the cursed woman, showed that her wins over the Vixens champion Raven, and her win last week over the now former Hellcats champion Ashley Milano was no fluke, and is now the new Hellcats champion. My congrats to her. I definitely think she deserves it. It's definitely the step in the right direction for her. Management made the right choice there. Now, I think that what Ashley could do, she could either challenge for the belt again in a rematch, or she can move on to challenge for the Vixens title. You know, it's just an idea. She's one of the big names. She shows up every week. That's kind of what I'm getting into my fail for the week. Where the hell is everyone? Ash, Lexi, Neon, Mr. Wrestling, Matt Styles, Madison, Jenna Storm, England, and Striker Reed. Where are they? They're all no-shows. I'm especially disappointed in Ash, Lexi, and Jenna Storm. Now, I'll tell you why. Ash and Lexi, they were main eventing last month's Risky Business pay-per-view. Ash won a briefcase. Turns out he has to get his head shaved. Nobody seen or heard anything else about that. They were having relationship issues. Nobody knows what's going on there. And I swear to God, if Ash somehow manages to sneak his way into the main event of of Brawl's Giving, then clearly he's sleeping with the boss. You know, just put it out there. It's the only way. The guy no shows, main events, sleeping with the boss. Just my opinion. Lexi, you know, I don't really know what to think of her. She's just kind of like there, riding Ash's coattails, I think. Hopefully we get to see something develop. I want to see what she does for Neon in her makeover. Again, another risky business thing that hasn't panned out. Now we're going to go on to Jenna Storm. She is the face of Viral Entertainment for the month, and other than a handful of matches and some subpar, I don't even know what to call it anymore, to her thing with Mr. England, I mean, she's hasn't really been around. I don't know what's going on. She's from England. She shouldn't have any excuse for not being here. I hope we get to see more of her. I hope she gets to come back to the pay-per-view. I want to see her. She's definitely championship material. Alright, those are my wins and fails. Win, jinx, fail. Where the hell is everybody? Alright, now on to the show. We had a wrestling versus karate showcase, round 2, between Mr. International and Mark Weiss. It was a very good match. Both men did exceedingly well. Mark Weiss is proving that he's just no slouch, that he can, in fact, go the distance and doesn't need to be put through a barricade in order to lose. But he did lose this one. Mr. International hits him with the fisherman suplex for the pin. Mark is clearly showing signs of wear and tear from the barricade incident. But still, you know, my props to Mr. International. I think after Brawl's Giving, he should definitely challenge for the best of the net title. I think he has like 2 losses. I think one of them's to Cesar, and the other one is to Reamer and York in the ladder match at Risky Business. He should definitely challenge for the title. He's got everything rolling for him. So, on to our debut of the week. We got the Ebon Hood versus Reamer and York. Now, I just got to say, the Hood reminds me a lot of Batman. As lame as it sounds, he does. He comes out here, nobody knows who he is. He starts preaching about how the place has become corrupt and nobody is worthy, and he's going to clean it up. I mean, that sounds a lot like the Batman. So I'm actually excited. You know, he seems like the type that it'll be fun to watch, to see what he does. So he challenged Sid Reamer for the title. Reamer turned him down. Instead, he placed him in a match with Arthur York, and it turned out to be a 2-on-1 beatdown. I mean, there was no surprise there. But what was surprising was the Hood just kind of sat up after it was all over and said that this was just the beginning. You know, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the pay-per-view between Hood and Reamer for the X-rated title. I really want to see Hood win this one. I think it'd be a lot of fun, especially where he says that he's going to find a worthy champion. That means he's planning on losing the belt if he wins it. So, you know, this guy is going to be pushed through the sky, I think. I like the way they're going with it. You know, who doesn't? Who doesn't love a good superhero? So, next we have Raven versus Kira. This was an open challenge that management picked, and the weird thing is when you watch the match, it's almost like watching twins fight. They look similar, they fight similar. Well, similar. I mean, Kira's a little more high-flying than Raven. Raven's more of a ground-and-pound type of girl. I mean, the match was also good. It was also close. It shows what Kira can do. But there was no way she was going to win this one. I mean, this was just an open challenge. This was just a squash. It wasn't supposed to be a squash match, but everybody knew Raven was going to win. But they did build Kira up. I mean, she survived the dreaded ankle lock after missing a botched, high-flying move. And instead of tapping out, she just passed out, which allowed Raven to pin her. It just shows her that she has incredible toughness, and I look forward to seeing more. But I'm more interested in seeing who Raven's challenger at the pay-per-view is going to be for her title. Nobody has stepped up, and she's issued so many open challenges, and nobody's willing to step up and fight her. Is she just that tough? Does nobody want to fight her? I mean, these are incredible opportunities, and these ladies are just passing up on it. So, alright, in our co-main event of the evening, we had Colt Stevens versus Mathis Mayfox. These guys have been really exchanging words. They each think that they're better than one another. which is good. I mean, Colt Stevens, ever since winning the title, or not with the title, sorry, the briefcase at Risky Business that guarantees him a title shot, has been just, his confidence has gone through the roof. The man thinks that he's already claimed that he's going to win, he's going to be a future world champion. I have no doubts about that. When he cashes in that briefcase, I think it's just a matter of giving him the title when the time is right. At the same time, though, he hasn't even won a match. And then you have Mathis on the other hand. Other than, like I said in my preview show, other than losses to Nate Michaels and Cesar, has beaten everybody. So, I mean, what do you do? Do you push the guy who's been beating everybody, or do you push the guy who's a future world champ? Well, I think they made the right move. They picked Mathis. Mathis won. I mean, it was a good match. Don't get me wrong, it was great. I loved watching it, every bit of it. I mean, it really showed the two are both skilled. I think they're both going to be champions one day. But I think what they're doing is they're pushing Mathis as upper mid card or lower tier, top tier card, so that they have more main event stars. Whereas with Colt, when they finally determine the viral champion, he'll just be able to go in, cash the briefcase, and he'll be champion, and that's instant main event for him. Whereas Mathis, they're kind of building into main event. I could definitely see them headlining a pay-per-view down the road for the title. So I can only see this getting better. It's just they're too good. I mean, Mathis no longer is the kind of cookie cutter, I'm good, but I'm bad when I need to be. He's finally starting to come into his own. So I'm really glad. That's all I can say. I mean, this is just what he needs. Colt, I mean, we all know what's going on with him. He's getting training from Nathan Michaels, and he's taking pot shots at him. So, I mean, I think personally it would make more sense if management has Nate win the title at best of the best in the world, and then that's when Colt cashes it in, KOs him, pins him. I mean, it puts Nate over as the dominant superstar that he is, but I mean, he's just fought however many people, and then Colt cashes in the main event, wins the title. I think that'd be the best way to go. That's my prediction for next month. I'm calling it now. So, speaking of Nate Michaels, we're going to go on to what we were promised, a triple threat match for the best in the net championship between Benson Dane, Christian Goodchild, and Nathan Michaels, of course. Now, I was worried about how this was going to go because this is a pay-per-view caliber match. So I was very surprised that they would have the title on the line in a triple threat match on an Extreme. I mean, how would you do that? I mean, I think you have to have Nate retain, but then you don't have any main event for the pay-per-view. So, I mean, I think they made the right choice where, you know, Christian came down, KO'd Bane last week with a chair. Bane gets taken out at some point during the night. So that leaves it to a one-on-one match between Christian and Nate. And you knew Dane was going to get involved. The great Dane was going to get involved. And he got his payback. I mean, with a steel chair nonetheless. And I gotta feel bad for Nate. I mean, the guy comes out there, defends his title every week, and he's kind of getting tossed in the middle of this rivalry between Benson Dane and Christian Goodchild. And I think what's going to happen at the Brawls Giving pay-per-view, I'm sorry, I'm still calling it Brawls Giving, is that he's going to drop the title. I mean, he doesn't even have to factor into the decision. I think Benson Dane pins Christian Goodchild. That frees Nate up to challenge for the best in the world to become the viral champion. Dane and Goodchild fight it out at best in the world for the best in that championship. You know, this way everybody kind of gets put over, and you got to remember Christian Goodchild still has that briefcase that guarantees him #1 contender title at the best in the world. Unless for whatever reason management changes that, it better be a damn good reason. He's already main event star. Giving the title to Benson Dane will just make him a main eventer, whereas Nathan Michaels is already a main eventer, having held the title, like I said, for over 2 months. So that's all we have for tonight. That is the After Stream, Episode 2. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Please join me again next Sunday as we discuss the Brawl's Giving pay-per-view, or whatever the hell they decide to name it. This episode has been brought to you by Viral Wrestling at 13. Download all your favorite superstars online as they become available. I'm your host, Smart Mark Weiss, and see you next week.